Good morning. My name is Nina, and my pronouns are she, they, and I am a seminarian on the path toward UU parish ministry. Along with serving here today, I will also be the intern serving multiple UU churches in Houston next church year. So I look forward to many more opportunities to know and serve this beloved community. Thank you so much for welcoming me here today. I steadfastly believe that care is our currency, and that in times of immense change and pain, all we have is each other. It is our togetherness that makes each moment sacred. So come now into this space and feel your breath and body and spirit arrive. Your weariness, joys, apathy, hopes, wonderings, fatigues, and fears, they are welcome here. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, and whatever you believe about life's journey, you are welcome here. And when we come together, we get to practice the inclusivity that we want to see in the wider world. So today, please move in ways that your body or your spirit needs. It's okay during the service if you need to wiggle, or sleep, or fidget, or stand up, or step away. All are welcome. The opening words today are by Austrian poet and novelist Rainer Maria Rilke, translated by Joanna Macy, from his poem called "Let This Darkness Be a Bell Tower." Quiet friend who has come so far, feel how your breathing makes more space around you. Let this darkness be a bell tower and you the bell. As you ring, what batters you becomes your strength. Move back and forth into the change. What is it like, such intensity of pain? If the drink is bitter, turn yourself to wine. In this uncontainable night, be the mystery at the crossroads of your senses. The meaning is discovered there. And if the world has ceased to hear you, say to the silent earth, I flow. And to the rushing water, speak, I am.
Thanks, Nina. Thanks for coming to talk to us. Good morning. My name's Terry Grimm, and my pronouns are she and her. I'd like to invite Cliff Grimm and Ivar Larson to light our chalice this morning. And they're honoring it in case everybody's noticed how beautiful the sanctuary looks. An amazing paint job in the space of 5 days. But I'd also like to invite all of the people that really made this happen, the color team, the audiovisual team, the people that hauled stuff in, the people that hauled stuff out, and everybody else that really contributed to making the sanctuary its thing. So please step up if you've helped. Not everybody stood up. Thank you all for a great work. We light this chalice this morning with beginning and ending of Amanda Gorman's wonderful poem, The Hill We Climb. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. In the norms and notions of what just isn't always justice. And yet, the dawn is ours before we knew it. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
So in lieu of an opening hymn that we sing together today, I'd like to introduce you to one of my favorite new songs by artist and songwriter Heather Houston. And so while we won't be singing this song, I encourage you to listen to it and its words and be with the theme of it, which feels really aligned with what we're talking about today. Heather Houston is an artist and a music instructor from Santa Cruz, California. And she wrote this song that we're going to hear, which is called Tending the Spark, in 2019. And she refers to it as an important song for these uncertain times. She said, "This one moved through me one evening as the Chico campfire was raging in California, turning into that reality and the reality of climate change and feelings of vulnerability, uncertainty, grief, and a spark of hope. All of this was swirling through me at once. I asked for a song to drop in, and this is what landed, and I consider it a gift from the beyond. May we continue to care for each other as the world as we know unravels, and may we continue to plant the seeds of intentional new beginnings that uplift the planet and humanity as a whole." I hope you'll enjoy Heather's song.
And we will care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, may it grow. And we will care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, may it grow. And we will care for each other as the world around us unravels, and we will tend to the spark of hope that lives within our grieving hearts. And we are here now in this present moment, lifting our voices and hearts. And we are here now, we have come together, we are tending the spark of hope. Oh, may it grow. And we will care for each other.
Thank you, pretty song. Covenants in UU churches are a powerful tool for fostering a sense of community, building a beloved community, and putting the principles of UU faith into practice. They are a testament to the shared commitment to create a space where everyone feels welcome, respected, and empowered to live their lives with purpose and meaning. A covenant is a promise to build a community based on mutual care and shared values. Please join me in saying our covenant. Love, is the doctrine of this church. Quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another.
The responsive reading today is number 648 in your gray hymnal called Beginners. But we have only begun to love the earth. We have only begun to imagine the fullness of life. How could we tire of hope? So much is in bud. How can we desire fail? We have only begun to imagine justice and mercy. Only begun to envision how it might be to live as siblings with feast, not as oppressors. Surely our river cannot already be hastening into the sea of non-being. Surely it cannot drag in the silt all that is innocent. Not yet, not yet. There is too much broken that must be mended. Too much hurt that we have done to each other that cannot yet be forgiven. We have only begun to know the power that is in us if we would join our solitudes in the communion of struggle. So much is unfolding that must complete its gesture. So much is in bud.
My name is Travis Eck. This is my daughter Arwen Eck, and we're going to be performing Let It Be for you. Most of you are probably well familiar with this song. It's by the Beatles, written by Paul McCartney. But in case you didn't know, I want to tell you a couple things. This song was written by Paul at a really dark time in his life. He kind of felt like things had gotten out of control. I think this is at the very end of like the Beatles. They were kind of unraveling, and kind of drug use had gotten a hold of him, and he was in a dark spot. And then he had a dream, and his mother, Mary McCartney, she had passed away when he was 14, came to him and calmed him down and said, "Let it be." And with that in mind, I just looked up in the internet, like, what is the theme of this song? What is it really about? And there's one response I thought put it really, really well. It said, "Let it be as a song of surrender and an acceptance of the now. It's a release of the need to know how everything is going to turn out, and it connects us back to hope. Things will still be okay, even during our hour of darkness." When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
Thank you. My name is Gloria Miller, and I am the Religious Education Director for Bay Area Unitarian Universalist Church, and my pronouns are she, her. Our tale for all ages today is entitled, What If? By Thierry Lanane and Olivier Talek. I'd like to read the foreword by Wendell Berry. For humans to have a responsible relationship to the world, they must imagine their places in it. To have a place, to live and belong in a place, to live from a place without destroying it, we must imagine it. By imagination, we see it illuminated by its own unique character and by our love for it. A child sat on his island, looking out at the world and thinking. The child saw war. We could paint over their uniforms, he thought, and turn their guns into bird perches and shepherd's flutes. The child saw famine. What if we lasso the clouds and bring rain to the desert? What if we dig rivers of water and milk? The child saw misery. We better learn to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, he thought. What if we finally learned to share water, bread, air, and earth? The child saw the powerful gorging, ordering, shouting, and decreeing, and he said to himself, we have to open their eyes or drive them out. The child looked out at the ocean and he thought, what if we wash it clean? And then he sat in front of it just dreaming. The child saw forests and he thought how great it would be to walk there, exploring, telling stories to be carried on the wind, and later he would fall asleep on the moss listening. The child saw tears. We have to hug, he decided, and not be afraid of kisses. What if we start saying, I love you, even if we've never heard it before? The child lowered his head. He saw the moon with a flag stuck right in its face. How dumb, he thought, to try to own the moon. What if we set it free and say that we're sorry? The child looked out at the world from his island one last time. And then he decided to be born. Our keeper of the flame is Remy Eck or Jonas?
We're going to light the red candle for our community, our beloved community, and we light the white candle to bring peace into a much-needed world. Now we invite you to come light candles to honor the joys and concerns held in your hearts and our community. Each flame is a symbol of love, hope, and shared presence as we celebrate together and offer support for all that we carry and hold dear. If you need a candle brought to you, please raise your hand. And a final candle will be lit to honor those not present and the unexpressed joys and concerns.
With our chalice and our candles lit, we have arrived this Sunday morning. With our hopes and our anxieties, we have arrived this morning. With our joys and sorrows, we have arrived this morning. Rilke said, "Quiet friend who has come so far, feel how your breathing makes space around you." I invite you now into a meditative space where you can remember that in our breathing, we are one. Quiet your body and soften your gaze. And without changing anything, simply notice. Notice the physical sensations of being alive right now. What do you feel? What can you hear? And I want you to bring attention to the joys that you carry right now. What is bringing ease, pleasure, connection? Imagine holding all of this joy right in the center of your chest. And if it feels helpful, you can place a hand over your heart. From this place emanates warmth like the sun. Breathe in deeply, breathe out, and release that warmth. Quiet friend who has come so far, feel how your breathing makes more space around you. Now let your attention move to anything that feels heavy or painful or full of grief today. What truths feel simply too much to bear, outside of your control, but never far from your heart? Imagine holding all of this in the open palms of your hands, and if it feels helpful, you can open your hands. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out, and imagine cool water pouring over your open hands, washing them clean. Quiet friend who has come so far, feel how your breathing makes more space around you. We breathe for the dignity of all beings. We breathe for our interdependence and connection. We breathe to return to the home of our bodies. Take one final breath and return to our space. The reading today is an excerpt from Active Hope: How to Face the Mess We're Going In Without Going Crazy, by Joanna Macy and Chris Johnstone. Joanna was an environmental activist, author, and Buddhist, and Chris is a scholar and trainer in resilience and well-being. They say, in the agricultural revolution of 10,000 years ago, the domestication of plants and animals led to a radical shift in the way that people lived. In the Industrial Revolution that began just a few hundred years ago, a similarly dramatic transition took place. These weren't just changes in the small details of people's lives. The whole basis of society was transformed, including people's relationship with one another and the earth. And right now, a shift of comparable scope and magnitude is occurring. It's been called the ecological revolution, the sustainability revolution, or even the necessary revolution. We call it the Great Turning and see it as the essential adventure of our time. It involves the transition from a doomed economy of industrial growth to a life-sustaining society committed to the recovery of our world. And this transition is already well underway. In the early stages of major transitions, the initial activity might seem to exist only on the fringes. Yet when their time comes, ideas and behaviors become contagious. The more people pass on inspiring perspectives, the more these perspectives catch on. At a certain point, the balance tips and we reach critical mass. Viewpoints and practices that were once on the margins become the new mainstream. In the story of this great turning, What's catching on is commitment to act for the sake of life on earth, as well as the vision, courage, and solidarity to do so. Social and technical innovations converge, mobilizing people's energy, attention, creativity, and determination in what has been described as the largest social movement in history. In Paul Hawken's book, Blessed Unrest, he writes, "I soon realized that my initial estimate of 100,000 organizations doing this work was off by at least a factor of 10. And I now believe that there are well over 1 and maybe even 2 million unique organizations working toward ecological sustainability and social justice." Don't be surprised if you haven't read about this epic transition in major newspapers or seen it reported in other mainstream media. Their focus is usually trained on sudden, discrete events that they can point their cameras at. But cultural shifts happen on a different level. They come into view only when we step back enough to see a bigger picture changing over time. A newspaper photograph viewed through a magnifying glass may only appear as tiny dots. When it seems as if our lives and choices are like those dots, it can be difficult to recognize their contribution to the bigger picture of change. We might need to train ourselves to see the larger pattern and recognize how the story of the Great Turning is happening in our time. Once seen, it becomes easier to recognize. And when we name it, the story becomes more real and familiar. Here ends our reading. So one summer Sunday in New York City, I attended a UU church in Brooklyn whose theme for the day was happiness in Buddhism. We filled the space, settled down, listened to the prelude, and during the invocation, the minister said, "Today we were going to talk about happiness in Buddhism. But another black man was murdered by police yesterday, so now we have to talk about that." And the minister led us in the conversation we needed to have versus the one that we planned on having. And I think about that moment a lot, because coming together in community, especially spiritual and liberatory community, should mean us asking ourselves what we need to talk about, what needs doing, what needs healing. And I think that the word need invites us to plumb spaces that otherwise might be avoided because they're too gross, or they're too wounded, or they're too hard. You could say that there's a lot that we need to discuss in this time of overlapping polycrisis. These days, in what the environmental activist Joanna Macy calls the Great Turning, we are together deeply suffering change. Like standing on a continental divide with one foot on either side, feeling the two pieces rip apart and wondering if our shared body can sustain the damage, wondering if this is the crack where the light gets in, or our ultimate demise. So what then needs talking about while the world is being ripped in half? We need to talk about climate, about democracy, about growing inequality. We need to talk about the disenfranchised and the forgotten and the children who belong to all of us. We need to talk about what we'll do about it and who will do it and when they'll do it. And then, as we who cherish and nurture community know, we also need to talk about sustenance and rest and joy. We need to militantly refill our tanks so that we can show up to all the things that need talking about and doing. And we need to know that there's a beloved community that accepts us in our efforts. In this time when there is so much that needs talking about and needs doing, we can feel compelled to take sides, or to seek perfection, or to trip up on the right way to do a thing, the right message, the right moment. And I'm so glad that we share a theology that returns us to each other in this very difficult work. Our interconnectedness as UUs is amplified in our 7th principle, which calls us to respect our interdependent web of existence. It means that we amplify the dignity of all beings, that we grieve the pain of all beings, and we are here on behalf of all life. And the work that really needs doing is dismantling brick by brick the walls that obscure our understanding of ourselves and that amplify the lie that we don't belong to each other. Joanna Macy describes the Great Turning as a societal shift from an industrial growth-driven civilization to a life-sustaining one, a transition away from separateness and violence and supremacy and toward peace and interdependence and restoration. It's good for us to remember that there are lots of people who have, for a very long time, been working toward peace, interdependence, and restoration. And let us not forget that this particular moment, that our particular lives are but a single thread on a much larger tapestry of all life. Joanna suggests that there are 3 dimensions to the Great Turning, each with their unique responsibility to the overall effort of change. And no one dimension is more critical than the others. Nothing must happen before anything else does. And it actually is most powerful when communities come together and can practice overlapping all dimensions. The first dimension focuses on what she calls holding actions. These actions work to protect what is left of our natural systems, rescuing what we can from further loss and countering the unraveling of our social fabric. Those doing holding actions are defenders, safeguarding communities against exploitation, war, starvation, and injustice. People doing these actions are defending our shared existence and the integrity of life on our planet. And holding actions include curating and sharing helpful, accurate information about what's happening, calling out and calling in those who act in unethical ways, and engaging in direct action to disrupt behaviors that don't align with the world that we're building. For Unitarian Universalists, holding actions look like our electoral efforts, our participation in vigils or marches and protests, our support of boycotts and divestment campaigns, and providing sanctuary to those who need material support. These holding actions buy time. They prioritize safety and survival right now to get us to the next moment, but they are not enough by themselves, because along with stopping the bleed, we need to stop what's causing the wounds. The second dimension of Joanna Macy's Great Turning focuses on transforming actions. This is where we develop and implement life-sustaining systems and new ways of living. We turn away from the opaque practices that protect obscene wealth and safety for the very few while impoverishing the rest of humanity. The work of transforming actions is to develop structures using new narratives. Empire is actively, grotesquely failing us. And in this transition is where we withdraw our consent. We can explore here and practice alternatives rooted in ancestral wisdom, ecological balance, accountability, restorative justice, and so much more. Transforming actions include ecologically sound farming practices, communities practicing placing disability justice at the center, restorative and transformative justice practices that center wholeness rather than rightness. For Unitarian Universalists, this looks like our commitments to welcome queer folks and families, our commitments to ferociously protect unhoused and undocumented people, and our investment in ecological protection and restoration. And the third dimension of the Great Turning focuses on actually shifting perceptions and values. This work tends to the root, considering the strength of the tethers that keep us connected to our shared work and to each other. Without deeply realized and embodied values, our attempts at change are flimsy, subject to weather changes or burnout or deprioritization. As we become more disillusioned with the myths that have been served to us, we become more powerful and certain in our return to interdependence. Rather than being a victim of all the forces trying to keep us separate from each other and separate from our own bodies and separate from our collective future, this dimension reminds us to root down hard and grow strong with all the time and nourishment that it takes. Examples of this work include grief-tending practices, practices of intersectionality and co-liberation like ecofeminism and eco-psychology, and somatic therapies that understand our connection to the body of the world is only possible through our connection to our own bodies. A lot of Unitarian Universalism occupies this dimension, including often how we find our way to the shared community. How many of us were drawn to a UU community because we had an inkling, like some sort of tickle, that there was a better way? A couple, right? A better way to love, to support, to educate children, ours and others. A better way to be a brain and a body, integrated and trusting and growing. A better way to manage conflict, to fall out and then come back to each other. The work of shifting perceptions and values is both the attraction and the imperative of our shared theology. This work has been done for decades now, and the phrase "the Great Turning" has been used since the 1980s. And recently, there's been a fourth dimension suggested, that of nurturing life. Examples of this dimension include raising children with life-affirming consciousness, growing food and saving seeds along the way, caring for people of all ages and all abilities, and restoring natural ecosystems. Sometimes this is considered the foundational glue that holds all the other dimensions together, because no matter how you're contributing, you are fighting the decay and rot perpetuated by empire, and therefore nurturing life. There's something important to remember in this work. No effort is insignificant. Nothing you do at home or in love or at work or with children or with your body is insignificant. Nothing created through written word, through dance or breath work or stillness is insignificant. No skill that is shared, art that is created, or need that is met is insignificant. These efforts of preventing greater loss, of transforming systems and hearts, of aligning our values with our actions, and of nurturing life are all aspects of what Joanna Macy calls the work that reconnects. And I'm glad that she calls it the work that reconnects instead of the work that connects, because it's important for us to remember that our bodies know how to do this. Our coming together is a return to our natural state, and it is an antidote to the immense despair experienced as we witness daily atrocities. It is a way, she says, to transform despair and overwhelm into inspired, collaborative action. So I wonder now about you, beloved congregation. Which dimension of the Great Turning are the actions of your life feeding? And which dimension of the Great Turning do you believe that Unitarian Universalism is best poised to serve today? Our theology asks us how our love creates more possibilities for life. It asks how our love increases our capacity to love the whole world and how to sustain this love throughout ours and across all lifetimes. This moment is difficult, and it does not ask us for unbridled optimism. It does not require that we find palatable packages for our grief or ascribe to standards of purity or perfection, but it does require that we use our breath and our words and our actions to find a way back to each other and stubbornly stand by our belief in interdependence. This commitment to choose life, to choose each other, and to choose our shared future by all means possible is the charge of our shared theology. Joanna said, "Grace happens when we act with others on behalf of our world." This belief that we are each other's keeper, savior, and grace, this is our theology, and this is our way through. On July 19th, just a couple days ago, Joanna Macy became an ancestor. Her 96 years on this planet are impossible to encapsulate in just a couple words on a Sunday morning. But we know how to keep our dead alive, and we can do that when we infuse our lives with the action and justice and love that they taught us. In her final days, a piece of art hung near her hospice bed that read, "Each moment, only once." In these choppy waters, may you find serenity in doing the work that is only yours to do, the role that only you can play. May you put down that which is beyond your means or control before you go to bed at night, because this is the work of our lives every day, forever. And as Joanna said, this moment, you're alive, and you can dial up the magic of that at any time. May it be so.
And now we will share our abundance. The offering that we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It's an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation as tools to empower our mission.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy.
There's nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need.
There's nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy.
All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need.
I lost my spot. Love is all you need. All right, Remy. love.
All together now. All you need is love, everybody. All you need is love. Love.
Love is all you need.
Love is all you need.
Love is all you need.
Love is all you need. Love is all you need.
Please join me in blessing the offering. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our ministries, and the world. So there's many things going on in this church besides painting, and many ways in which our community lives out its mission to change lives and heal the world. So before I get started on our slides for the announcements, I've been told that some of the previous slides said there was a Buddhist gathering today, and there isn't. And so what's written up in here is actually correct. It doesn't start till August 3rd. So don't come today for the Buddhist thing. Okay, and get ready to turn your Wednesday night into the epic showdown of brain power and fun. Join us for an electrifying team trivia night on Wednesday, July 30th at 7 p.m. You know who you are. You've come to these a lot. Teams will be randomly formed, adding to the thrill. Plus, the winning team scores cool prizes, and people have won money. Best of all, it's totally free, and everyone's welcome. Don't miss out on the laughs, the competition, and the chance to claim victory. There's a quick correction to the order of service. The next meeting of the Bay Area Covenant of UU Pagans isn't on Wednesday, July 30th as printed. It's actually on Thursday, August 7th at 6 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. If you're curious about pagan beliefs and practices, or you identify as a pagan yourself and want to learn more about goddess spirituality, witchcraft, or neo-paganism, we'd love for you to join us on August 7th at 6 p.m. Next slide. As part of our commitment to LGBTQ plus inclusion, BAUUC hosts the Clear Lake PFLAG small group on the fourth Sunday of each month at 2 p.m. in the sanctuary. PFLAG offers support, education, and advocacy for LGBTQ plus individuals and their family. The next meeting is actually today. If you have any questions, Barbara Larson's right here. And all are welcome to join this loving, affirming space for connection and understanding. Okay, and join us right after the service for coffee and light snacks in Cockrell Hall. I've already checked out the snacks. There's a lot of great snacks. Come join. It's a great time to connect with friends, old and new. If you'd like to bring snacks or help us set up, there's a sign-up sheet in Cockrell Hall. Come share some community time with us. And finally, if you want to stay in the loop, BAUUC sends out a weekly email with all the details on upcoming events. If you're not on our mailing list, just scan the QR code on the screen to sign up. And our final song today is number 1051 in the Green Hymnal, We Are.
break this sacred circle and extinguish our chalice, but not our commitment to justice or our passion for liberation. These burn brightly until we meet again. As we break this sacred circle, may the abundance and care that we fostered here spill out into our wider world. May your work of living and loving be infused with the support of this community. May you continue to create, build, and nurture. May you carry softly the pressures of this world and remain open to the mystery of what's to come. Go today in peace and power.